Hey, it's Jake / LocoSkates, and this is my top 5 aggressive skates for 2020. Okay, so these top 5, top 10 style videos, they always seem to come with some kind of a disclaimer. This video is no exception to that. Disclaimer number 1 is that right now it's February 2020. Which means we're early in the year, which means that a lot of the skates I'm going to mention are going to be 2019 models which have carried through to 2020. It doesn't matter because, let's face it, the skate brands are probably just going to release those same models again this year in different colours. That will be with the exception of one skate, which we'll talk about later. Disclaimer number 2 is I've not mentioned any carbon fibre skates in this top 5 because I just haven't been skating carbon fibre, so I'm not in a very good position to really talk about it. But if I was going to pick a carbon fibre skate, I'd pick the USD Carbon Brown skates. I think they're classic, I think they're beautiful, I think they're good quality. So let's get into the top 5 skates of 2020. Number 5, the Trigger Beat Schmidler skate, or for that matter, any Trigger skate that they bring out in 2020, because it's likely to be the same, just in different colours. I think it's a really underrated skate. It's a French brand, so it's not as well known as some of the other brands out there. They seem to do most of their marketing within France, but I think it's good because it's got this true one-piece hybrid soft boot thing going on. So there's not a liner within a shell, it's all one piece, like an old K2 or something like that. I heard there is a kind of hybrid half shell underneath here, which I heard was the same shell as the Rollerblade New Jack or the Rollerblade Alpha. I don't know if that's true, don't quote me on that. I read it on the internet. And then it's got this really thick liner, or lining, I guess, which when you first see it, you think, it's not gonna work. And then you put your foot in and it really works. It's really comfy, it's really supportive, it's really padded. I think it's really underrated. The Beat Schmidler skate by Trigger. Number 4, I wanted to pick the Rosa SL, but then I also wanted to pick the Rosa Shift. And I couldn't really decide because they both feel so similar to me when I'm skating them. I can barely tell the difference. There's minor things. This is slightly wider fitting. This has got a rain liner from stock, but it's more expensive. But really, they both feel similar and they're both really good skates. They're almost like cheating grind skates because the sole space is great. They've got this really good Royale groove, like really good backslides out the box, really good ankle support. Everything is good and solid about the Rosa skates. 4. Number 3. It's the Roces M12 Pro skates, just like this M12 Bobi Spassov skate right here. And I say the Pro skates because the Pro versions are the ones with the better plastic, the better frames, better wheels and more comfortable liners in them. You can get a really cheap Roces skate for starting out, but this is the one that's going to make the list. And I say Roces because that's how we always say it here at the shop, but I know the real pronunciation for all the commenters below is Roces. And that's how the Italians want you to say it, but I'm definitely not Italian enough or suave enough to pull that off. So the skate itself is loved by so many people just because it's so classic, it's so simple, it's lightweight, it's slender, it really sticks to your foot and comes with you as a skate. It's this whole feeling of, you know, it's its own thing, the feeling of a Roces skate on your foot. It also happens to be the best-selling skate of last year as well. So number 3. Number 2, the USD Ion 60 skates, and with particular preference to the Pro versions, which have the MyFit liner in them, which are just really great. The one undeniable thing about the USD Ion that makes them so good is this one-piece shell and frame system, which doesn't have any bolting the frames on, because you can get the wider split of wheels while still having a flat setup. And what better feature to have on an aggressive skate. It just makes them so good. And they also look really great, particularly this Richie one, I think, from last year. That was my favourite one yet. I reckon. But they skate really well. They're light, they're slim, they're responsive, and you got the big split. Number 2. And my number 1 skate is the Them U1 skate. I feel like some people might think that's a controversial choice, but I just think that they took everything that wasn't quite right with the 908 skate, which I also loved, and fixed it. For example, the lace holes, which were the weird shape and looked a bit odd. They've put a skin over it, it looks great now. The other thing was the ankle support on the 908 was a little bit flexy. The skin which overlaps the cuff here sorts that out, they feel stiffer. And the other thing is the liners. In the 908, a lot of people had to change out those liners, and in this one they come as standard with this Intuition liner, which was built specifically for this boot, and it feels amazing in there. I love everything about these. They feel really close to my feet. They are really responsive. They've got this raised heel in the back here as well, which I really like to have in a skate. I think they're well deserving of the number 1 spot. But there is a bit of a spanner in the works, because it's February 2020 right now, and in just a few weeks they're about to release the Them 909 skate, which is a whole new boot mold, which we've not seen before, and that claims to also be bettering the 908 skate, and I'm pretty sure it will. I've since had the opportunity to try the 909 and the U1 skate side by side. I would say that they both feel very similar, to the point that if I wasn't looking at them, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. However, I did prefer the aesthetic of the 909. It looked cleaner and they look more compact because of the lack of skin. And of course, without that skin, they are a little lighter as well, just by a small margin. I would say the main advantage of the 909 is that they have the potential to retain their rigidity for over a longer period of time, because of the plastic instead of using a fabric like the U1. However, one thing I did like more about the U1 was the sound they made when I stamped my foot on the floor, just because that skin has a bit of a dampening effect. But overall, they're both a very worthy number 1 place in our top 5 skates, and the 909 does have a few things that I think make it marginally better. We'll see, we'll make a review on it, we'll report back. For now, thanks for watching, see you in the next one.